Good evening, lords and ladies. I am Night Before Dawn, and welcome back to Sons of the Forest. Today I'm going to be going over something that is quite janky. Hello, Kelvin. I call this grid snap point manipulation. I would like to come up with a better term, but you're manipulating where the logs snap to, so it's really an accurate term. I have these up here just for demonstration later, and I'm going to first show you how to start doing it. So essentially you just start with just a regular foundation. Nothing too special about that. So I'll just go here, 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 and here. Perfect. Nice square foundation. Place my log down. And then I'm going to build up with a with two 1/4 logs, just so that the height doesn't change. Most of the time I'm lucky and I'm able to do this. There are times where you may not be able to place that log. You may have to come up here and place this across there first, and then a 1/4 log or a 1/2 log, both will work right here. As long as you are 2 logs high right there, it won't matter. But the game's being nice to me and it's letting me place this, so I'll take advantage of it. And then I put this here, and that is the same height as the foundation right here. So I'll just come out to one side. It doesn't matter which side. Stay out of the way, please, Kelvin. And if you're building this, you don't want to be building towards a log that's just going sideways to it. You need to be building to a log that the log you're placing will be parallel with and butting up against the end of it, because it will give you a foreshortened log like that. That is manipulated so that the snap point between here and here is 1/2 log now. And the same with this. There we go. It's a 1/2 log length, even though it's a full log just jammed in there. So, and now at this point, none of this stuff is needed anymore. And I'm just going to pull this stuff down as well. And that. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now that I've got this, I'm going to come over to these demonstration ones. This one here, I'm going to show you the wrong way to take this apart. Say you have a reason that you want to pull some logs out. You cannot remove your foreshortened logs. You just can't. As you see, I get the X there. And this one's not giving me the X, but I can't remove it. But if you take out, and you can remove it normally, in most cases, once you've gotten rid of this log. But if you remove this log right now, that will happen, and now all of a sudden I can't remove either of those logs. I can remove everything else, but I can't remove any of those 3 logs. The only way I can do anything to them is by pulling out my axe and chop. And chop. There we go. That's the only way I could get them out of there. So, if you are ever going to do it, or if you ever have to pull these apart, always pull the perpendicular logs off first. So I take that. As you can see, those ones just dropped off. So at any point, you can remove any of them. And it is much easier to work with. So, but since I'm not doing that, I'll showcase a couple other things. One is, I really like this. If you want some super steep but unique length roof tiles, this is the way to do it. You place down your log, and those logs have to go there. If they're not put there, it will not give you a steep snap point like that. Like I'll show you over here. If that's not there, it will just snap on like normal. But if this log is here, it will snap down to the corner. And then you can remove these logs like nothing. So and normally you wouldn't be able to build such a steep roof. So that is my favorite feature that this adds. But still, remember, be careful with it. I'm going to just remove these logs now because Yeah, you can remove them nice and easy, which is great. I'm curious, can I remove them before I remove the... No, yes I can, so it doesn't matter. Nothing gets locked in that case. That's uncommon. If you want to do or move your build up before you build the slope of your roof, you can't just do this, because as you see, it'll just build that. You need to actually have something against the back of it. I'm going to show you two methods of having that something against the back so that the log is going into the end of it. Out of the way, please, Cal. And as you can see, in both cases, you get the arrow to place the foreshortened log. But in this case, you can't remove your temporary support. It is permanent. In this case, you can. In fact, in that case, you can't remove the foreshortened log until then. I'll show you that as well. Place this back in. Now I can't remove that log until I've removed this one. Whoops. So, you just have to be really careful with with the order you remove things in. But you can still remove that, and then if you want to have just that, you can do it. Fine and dandy. Whoops, wrong way. Let's see, is that gonna... It's gonna let me do it. Okay, cool. And I suggest, even if you want, you place these afterwards. You can just remove them afterwards without any issues. Right now, you should be able to remove those or those. So, just get your foreshortened log in place and get the proper, get everything else kind of removed around it that's locking it in place, and then rebuild. It makes things so much easier. Anyways, so you saw how steep that roof was. You can do some quite interesting other roof designs with it too, but I'll let you guys discover those. The next thing, if you remember, there was this angled piece here. That is rather simple to do. You can do it using just a regular grid offset, or starting with the snap point manipulation piece like this. It doesn't matter. But you have to place a log towards the outside. Like on this one, I had to place a temporary log here to get that funny angle. So, and in this case, the same thing. I have to place that here, and then you go to the one that you want the snap point to be on. I want it to snap to right here. So I'll place this there, and then I will place a log on here. It doesn't even matter what angle you put it at. You can put it at this angle or out to the side or whatever. It doesn't matter. When you remove it, it will snap to the corner of this log and that log. Then you can remove all your temporary logs and you have this. So I'm just going to get this out of the way for now because I don't want to have to fight with it. Okay. And now this is handy, but if you look at it, you're still stuck on the original grid angles. You just are running two grids, and stay out of the way, please, Cal. But if you want to rotate to the same angle as that, you just come up here with these, place your logs into a wall until you can't place anymore, and then you can come down off of it at a 22.5 degree angle. It is automatically snapped to 22.5 degrees. The only issue is I don't know where the center point would be for if things line up nicely. Because you're stuck on one grid there, and let's just get to the same height with this. And another grid here. Where they meet, it's not quite the same point, so that's not the greatest. And for each individual angle, you'd have to do this. This is more work than the other method, but every single time it is exactly 22.5 degrees, whereas the other one, if your aim isn't quite right, you could be off. So do you want to be that accurate, or do you want to just be close? I prefer just being close and calling her good, but that's just me. So, and now I can't remove any of this structure. Interesting. What if I do something like this? I've had some really strange things happen when I've been playing with this. So yeah, there we go. The strange things are happening. Now I should be able to tear down this wall. No. Oh well. Yeah. Just be careful when you're using it. It doesn't behave normally. Anyways, if you found any of this useful or have learned things to avoid so that you don't end up getting this kind of stuff happening, I would greatly appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, before I go, I don't know if I mentioned it, the triangle, this bit was actually shown to me by the YouTuber Bastio. So, shout out to Bastio for coming up with the angled version of this. Anyways, have a good one.